Right now might literally be the best and the worst time to get the Amex Platinum card, because on one hand, anybody who doesn't have a Platinum card right now could literally get this card, use all of the annual credits like the hotel credit, use their airline credit, use some Uber Cash, use their Resi credits, and a bunch of other credits that typically would reset either once per quarter or once per year, and actually effectively not just double dip, but actually triple dip all of these credits all in the first year. You get one in December when you apply for the card today, you'll get one again in January when those credits reset, and then the following January when you pay your second annual fee, you will actually be able to get those credits one more time. And so for a card that has an annual fee of $8.95, you have effectively been able to triple dip and get probably close to $2,000 in possible value from all the credits on this card. But American Express simultaneously is making some changes on the back end to quite possibly make it harder to use some of these credits that people really love, and actually ones that might actually dissuade people from getting the card in the first place if they're not able to use this credit effectively. What am I talking about? Well, one, the $200 airline fee credit, one that we know for many years has been able to be gamed in a certain way, like for example going on United's website and actually prepaying $200, aka almost like a gift card via United, and actually having that code towards this $200 credit, and then thereby building up $200 every single year and using that for an eventual United flight. We also know of some ways where you can use Delta gift cards to be able to buy down certain flights, and then that flight could actually be covered in the $200 airline fee credit in a few different ways that are non-standard. But American Express is possibly changing some things on the back end, because I saw this thread just a few days ago, this guy mentioning how he's actually able to use all of his airline fee credit because maybe it's close to the end of the year and he hasn't used it yet. And a lot of people have been mentioning that a lot of the ways that people have been able to use it in the past, like booking a Delta flight and pay with a flight credit or a gift card, hasn't necessarily been working for some people, and there are a few people that this does not work with. Now, there are a few that said that it did work with and it was totally fine, but it seems more people in this thread than not have not been able to get this to work, at least over the last week or so. And so it's leading to a lot of speculation, like this guy right here, the United Travel Bank method did not work for me even after 2 calls to Amex, which you shouldn't be calling Amex, as this guy said, because this is not an actual real method. This is what people have talked about for years on the blogs, on YouTube videos, like you're hearing right now. This is something that was supposed to be under the radar, and so with enough people talking about it, enough people have tried it, and so by calling Amex, I mean, you're only raising red flags to them and the team. Likely it's not going back to anybody important, but important enough to actually make some changes, but we're not supposed to be calling them with these methods. It's supposed to be for just us. And so we have a lot of people that's saying it worked last month, and some people say a few weeks ago, and even this guy a couple days ago, but I'm starting to see more and more people start to say that, and not just this thread, other threads as well, say that's not actually coding for them. And so it might be a user error, maybe they're doing something wrong, who really knows, but I wanted to let you know, for anybody who does have that credit remaining, like I technically have some remaining, that is a real possibility and something to think about before you actually spend your money in maybe a place that you're not necessarily going to be spending it without this credit. So something to know nonetheless, so you don't lose out on any money. And so for everybody else that has a large swath of credits remaining that they are now scrambling to try to use, well, I thought of giving you some tips on things that I've personally done and things I would do if I still had some credits to use in the given year. Firstly, I want to actually talk about this guy right here, who actually made the most out of his benefits, and this could really give you some good ideas on exactly how much value you can possibly get if you are a Platinum card holder and you love this card. And so this guy mentions to say that he managed to get way more than his annual fee squeezed in before the new year, about $1,500-ish before the FHR perks, giving he spent way more on everything than the credit, but I would have spent it anyway for his, $8.95 annual fee card. And so they mentioned a couple things here. First and foremost, FHR, which is honestly one of the most powerful, credits in all of the Platinum cards. It's my favorite credit. It's the one that gives you access to the Fine Hotels and Resorts program and gives you benefits like $100 experience credit and deli breakfast for 2, which is usually about $60 to $80 per day of your stay. Late checkout, all these different amazing things in some nice places. But the biggest issue that people have usually noted is that they very rarely can actually find a good hotel to spend it on. And a lot of the hotels in the FHR program are extremely expensive nowadays. So one way that I found, an easier way to search if you want to find a hotel just like this Waldorf in New Orleans, 200 a night, which I literally have stayed in also myself just a couple of years ago. It's a great property, not a bad use case for it. But this website right here, not sponsored or anything, even though this coupon code comes up, but Max FHR, Max My Point right here. And so it's actually going to showcase case, all of the hotels within FHR or hotel collection, I'm just going to filter by fine hotels and resorts, and it's actually going to filter by the cheapest prices possible. You could actually go through and probably get some good ideas about where you would possibly use your $300 credit. Because, well, if you're somebody who's, end of the year, maybe you have some time off, or maybe you're going to be planning something for Valentine's Day or birthdays coming up or the summer, you might be able to get a good idea of where you can get the cheapest possible FHR credit. If you really don't want to spend like too much out of pocket, you really want to get to as close to that $300 credit as possible, you can honestly just keep scrolling more and more until you find something that might actually be worthwhile. Number two, he was able to use his $200 credit on Delta via that airline credit. But one thing to know, that any of the incidental fees and taxes that come along with some of these cards, fuel surcharges, usually will code towards this credit. And so I've been able to book a lot of flights recently, and so much so that I've been able to get about half of my credit back just on taxes and fees alone. And since I only really do carry-ons, I never really benefit from the checked bags, especially if you're flying business class. You never really have to pay for the checked bags unless you have a ton of them. But if you are somebody that does do checked bags fairly often, this will code towards that credit as well. And actually how I used it for many, many years, honestly, when I had my Platinum cards. And one of my favorite ways to use this credit over the years was my airport lounge passes. And so for me, when I was flying Delta and I had access to Delta Sky Club, to get my wife into the Sky Clubs, well, I had to pay $50 usually, unless, they let you sneak past in certain cases. But if I wasn't able to and I had to pay, I would pay on my Platinum card, and that would code towards the credit. And so if you have a $200 credit and you happen to be in Delta Sky Clubs like 4 times a year, that's essentially like 4 Delta Sky Club passes per year for your spouse. So that's the way I was able to use it over the years. That's how I've always kind of liked using it. And so that's just a couple more ideas. Next, we also have the Resi gift cards, which is actually very, very interesting. And so right now, like, I guess he got this card maybe a few months ago, just like I did, where I was able to use my first $100 Resi credit on the Platinum card, which you can kind of see right here. You get it once per quarter. And so the vanilla way, obviously, is to just go to a Resi restaurant, make sure that your credit is enrolled. You don't need to make a reservation whatsoever, but just go to a Resi restaurant. They mentioned over 10,000. There's actually a lot of them out, honestly, in the world. In fact, we got to use one in Puerto Rico when we were there recently for the last meetup. And so that was a great time. And so it is December, which means this credit is going to go away in January, which means you don't have much time to use it. And so if you can't find necessarily a restaurant to go to right now, immediately, well, you might be opting into a method that this guy did, which was Resi gift cards. And so some people asked him how he did it. He actually mentions right here on Toast. So essentially, if you're unaware, Calby actually did an amazing video on this, but essentially any Resi restaurant that if they offered a gift card, whether in person or online, and it actually was on the URL Toast, like toast.com. When purchasing a gift card on toast.com for a Resi restaurant, it seemed to code directly to the restaurant itself, meaning it would work completely for the Resi credit, meaning if you wanted to build up $100 gift cards at a given restaurant that you want to go to in the future, you can quite possibly do that quarter after quarter, and then at the end of the year have one big $400 shebang. Hopefully it's a Michelin star Resi restaurant. They might be more worth it there, but just something to know nonetheless on the way to use that credit if you have no other means to do it. But come on, take her out on a date night or something like that. Have a good time. Next, he got a $65 Aura from the Black Friday sale credit, which you might be wondering, I also did that sale as well, baby. And actually something interesting, I'll grab it for you now, is when you get the box for Aura with the Amex Platinum card credit, you actually see it on the box itself. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on, let me put it in the light. It says American Express and Aura with their own partnership. And so obviously we love being surveilled at all hours of the day, just like our phone does. But I think for right now, for somebody like myself who is trying to improve my sleep or trying to see if I actually had sleep apnea or not, I didn't really know. Apparently I have a big tongue, so, maybe that's a thing. But for somebody who wanted this, for a little bit of time and is actually going to gift this or just give it to my wife once I'm done with it after a few months of testing and making sure my sleep is better and little things to do and improve that. I wanted that Aura ring, and Black Friday sale unfortunately did end. But during this time, especially in the next year, if they have some of the sales running, they actually had it for, at least in my case, $100 off. And so the Aura ring at this time is now $349. It was $249, and then after taxes and fees, it was $263 for me. So essentially, for me, $63 out of pocket after the $200 Aura ring credit actually ended up kicking in. One thing that people are doing right now is buying them and reselling them on eBay. I really wouldn't recommend it. I think going through the hassle of reselling on eBay is annoying enough, but now competing with the 75 million other Aura rings out there because everybody has a platinum card now, it's a bit toilsome. So I would actually recommend, if you're going to get it, maybe get it on a good discount if you can. I know that I don't see it right now, but Lululemon had a discount of like $60 off. Someone else mentioned, I think it was Clear, that also had a discount as well. So something to know nonetheless. But if you're going to get this Aura ring, maybe get it as a gift, and then get yourself one in January when the credit actually resets. Next is Lululemon credit. He was able to get $150. It's $75 per quarter, as you can see right here, $300 total. I haven't used this yet, but also Christmas is upon us. Go to a Lululemon store near you. Go buy something in person, in person with your, for your wife or for yourself, or just a gift for anybody. You could find some clothing there that could be a good gift. In fact, I literally have to do this like probably in a couple of them. So I got to use my $75 Lululemon credit, and it's going to be a gift for my wife. And so she'll love that. And apparently there is some good stuff out there, but I guess, we'll see. This guy was also able to get a good deal on Tom Ford sunglasses at Saks. I mean, Saks, what can I tell you? Just go on there, filter by the lowest price. It's going to show you all the lowest price items on there. Are they most amazing things? No. There's a couple really good shirts, sometimes really good, outfits for the wife. I got her a dress. I think it could be useful, but just something to know that you can do nonetheless. He renewed his Clear credit, which I haven't done, which I'm probably not going to do because it's a lot out of pocket and I've really not needed it recently, honestly. And one thing that I actually find interesting is Uber Eats right now, because I haven't really heard many people talk about this, but buying gifts via the Uber credits, because right now we actually got $35 for the month of December on our Uber Cash from our Platinum card. And so you actually can buy certain either gift cards or just items through Uber Eats, not just food. It doesn't have to just be food. You can actually go to Target on the Uber Eats app and actually order some, little gifts here and there. Again, this is the giving season. We're coming to Christmas and all the holidays. So if you have some last minute things, you don't know a gift to possibly get, you can go on Target and you could possibly buy a gift card on there, or just buy any gifts that might be in Target, shirts, clothing, all those different things. You don't have to use your $35, or in certain cases, if you have multiple platinum cards or gold and platinum, this guy's got 45, use that towards some items in Target, or as this guy did, Best Buy, Home Depot, Lowe's. He said he was able to get an Apple Pencil Pro delivered, used combined credits of $45, paid $43, including a $10 tip for a $95 item that was on sale for $130. That's actually pretty powerful as well. And so you can possibly stack that with the Uber One membership that the Platinum also gives you. So just little ideas as we're kind of rolling through it. ESPN, he did the entertainment credit and Paramount Plus with Walmart Plus. Cool. So that's basically the main credits that you have to run through on the Platinum card and all the things you got to do before the end of the year. But before that, you have to know that there is more to this game than just the credits. It's like, honestly, in some cases, the small money that you can possibly earn in this game. And so what if I told you that it is possible to be able to do everything we talked about today, get all the thousands of dollars in credits, but also be able to get close to 80,000 membership reward points almost completely for free every single year, just by either applying for the card at the right time or upgrading or downgrading your cards at the exact time. And so this is something that is more of a coveted method, one that I do not want to put out publicly, but I will tell you this, for right now, first 7 days completely for free. If you want to join the community, link down in the pinned comment below. In the classroom right here, you can see I have a whole section on Amex credit card hacks, the upgrade downgrade hack, how you could actually effectively get 80,000 points per year, almost for doing nothing, just by being a little bit strategic and maybe a little bit on the edge. We also go into no lifetime language links, an entire guide on that and how I've used them in the past, and all of the credit hacks that I'm actually not mentioning here publicly because I don't want them ruined, kind of like Amex might be doing with the other credits, that we talked about a little bit earlier. So this is supposed to be coveted, supposed to be private, and that's why I have it in this community here. Once again, free for the first 7 days. Come join it. I'd love to see you there. Come talk to me there. Let's go hang out.